Wolfie Cindy is a Marxist
the whole
plant.
no, I'm not talking about her, right? And I realize, the libs coming out, but it's like, no, like there is an element of Marxism in our culture where it's like everyone can be a model and everyone can be beautiful because Instagram exists. And we can do that, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot to be said about her body. And like, I'm not going to act like she's not sexy. This woman is 100% sexy.
Yeah.
In my perspective, like I don't find her to be beautiful. I find rare women to be beautiful. Adriana Lima or Gal Gadot.
She's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Gal Gadot is better looking than Wolfie Cindy. What?
I think Wolfie Cindy
like
is
sexy
beautiful.
chicks.
I think
like
she's
sexy
so
women.
beautiful.
What do you mean? I like sexy women.
Yeah, like the difference between sexy and beautiful. Does that make sense?
Okay, yes, I sort of know what you mean, but I like beautiful women. I like sexy women. I mean,
So you like them both?
Yes, but
like
I
them
think
both.
that you can be. I think that you can be beautiful without being sexy, and you can be sexy without being beautiful. You can be both. You can be neither.
Some people don't know who she is. Everyone's saying that she's like not. She's mid too. I think she's very beautiful. I think she's a super beautiful girl. I do. I know what you're saying though. Some people have the more unique model look.
For me, it's like it's the plastic surgery Instagram thing. Like
Totally.
that's my thing, right?
It's like
Because
everyone-
beauty,
it's
you're
not
born with it or you're
natural.
not. Like you can't buy it. She is sexy. Like I
I don't think she has plastic surgery.
She definitely has Botox.
She
for sure.
definitely has
Some
lip
fillers.
She has lip filler?
Yeah,
Her
she definitely
boobs
has-
are also. I think she's
Really?
had her boobs done. I mean,
Really?
there's just.
Oh, that's
That's
a,
another
looking at
thing is
female
guys,
bodies,
guys
boobs,
can't even
I
feel like are
I can
such
tell.
a no.
If you're looking,
I can tell.
No,
I
most
haven't-
dudes
listen, I'm
can't.
not-
Most guys
If
can't
you are
even tell.
looking, listen. If you're looking at a voluptuous woman with a great rack and a nice butt, and she has a flat stomach, that's not real. Women's bodies are not built like that, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's true. Like I ran my breasts off in 2018. Like I'm not joking. Like I fell in love with running, and then that's when I found out. And because my husband and I have had this conversation, he's like a medical nerd too. So when you see like these Instagram models,
no fake tits, by the way. I'm looking.
Like if you're a woman, if you're a woman that's sub 20% body fat, majority of women that are sub 20% body fat, like they're not really going to have breasts. Like that's a small percentage of the population that has breasts that
and
are that large.
that's not
It's like
healthy.
It's like 10% of women. The last I checked, it's like the percentage of women that have big racks naturally, it's like 10% of them. Last I checked.
Yeah. And are if we're going to say like, if we're talking about thin women, you're probably not going to have a huge rack. And if you do, they're probably fake, or you're just born, you're God's favorite, which is awesome and good for you. I wish I was.
I'm on the beauty train. You know what I mean? Like if you can pay for it, like that's not beauty. It is sexy, but I don't think that that's beauty.
Yeah.
And I think that like that's a perfectly okay thing to say. I wasn't born at 10, and I hopefully like baby girl, maybe you'll come through, but I don't know. For me, it just wasn't in the cards. Yeah. But I think that's okay to say. But this was fun. I liked rating this woman with you guys. This was good.
Yeah.
So, whoa. I don't
We came
even
to
know.
the conclusion that she's sexy, she's hot, but
She's not beautiful.
Well, the thing is, to be beautiful, you can't be fake.
Is she fake though? I don't know.
Yes.
We just
Look at
went
the
over this.
comments.
The proportions of her body, and I say this out of full
I
jealousy.
don't think she has fake titties.
They're too nice.
She could
Okay,
be
the way her
very
stomach,
1%.
her butt, like there's just been help there. I agree. She's super
Cope.
attractive, but there's been
Cope.
help there.
She's hotter than me for sure.
That's cope.
I just don't think. I said
No,
that she's
not
hotter.
you.
What does that mean?
Coke.
Just
Coke.
like
She did a lot of coke.
some women,
Oh.
look, some women are using Photoshop. They're squeezing their fucking their ribs in or whatever.
Yeah.
Some girls are Photoshopping that shit. Some of it is angles, etc. But you can't deny that some women. Now, obviously, there's like the really extreme Photoshop that's just impossible. But like, there are some women that do have a really thin waist.
Yeah.
Of
Like there are
course,
some women
right.
that
But they
have
don't have
fucking.
boobs.
like,
There
in
are
reality.
God's,
and that's
God's
beauty.
favorites are
That's
out
beauty.
there. They really are. I don't think that's Wolfie Cindy. And I think that it also promotes an unhealthy standard of, what women should look like. And, the girls are looking at her, you can't have a big boob, can't have big butts. All you want to do is lose weight. It's not healthy. Like to want to be a certain size, to want to be in your healthy body is a good thing. But, if the only thing you think you can achieve is a 6-pack, that's not healthy for women. Like women.
I think there's actually much harsher physical beauty or physical things on men.
I think dad bods are in, and I don't think that's true.
Stop the cap.
Yeah.
I'm
humbly
not
disagree.
capping. I feel like
No.
that's so in. Like on TikTok
Women
right now,
women
everyone's
say
talking
that,
about
but it's
dad
not.
bods. Really?
You
Like,
just have to look at movies. Like, have you noticed that they're making the female leads in rom-coms more mid? You know, like Amy Schumer.
Yes.
Yeah.
However, the men are not changing. Like, they're still
not.
hot.
Yeah.
They still have six packs. Like, I mean, it's okay if you don't get it as a woman. Like, not all of us are gonna get the dude with a six pack, but it's like those dudes are like objectively sexy. I have arguments about this all the time online. So it's like you know, dad bod, like, through the years, having a child, we work out less, but we love each other that much. Like, you know, okay, 15 pounds, right? But anyway, objectively, like, would I choose a dude with a dad bod if I was single over a dude with a six pack? Like, no way. Like, why do you have that?
No, I agree,
Yeah.
but let's also agree that, you know, it's more common for a woman to date a man with an incredible personality and a great life and this and that and the other thing with less of the looks, you know, whereas for a guy, looks are a huge proponent. I think
Disagree.
I don't think so.
Disagree.
Like, have you
You
seen
disagree?
the amount of, like, okay, have you seen the amount of single men? Remember I said 60% from 18 to 29. This is like Pew Research data that just came out. And I'll show you guys all of this after the show. Like, they're single and they're not even looking. There's an element of nihilism because a lot of men are invisible to women. There's other data too. Only 1 in 3, and this was actually like per the state of California. But I mean, you could just like see in public if you listen to your ovaries how many men you'd say yes to, how many men you would say no to. So it's like 1 in 3 and 1 in 5 men has sexual access, right? And part of that 1 in 3 stat,
and 1 in 5 men. What does that mean?
so it's because it's a reference range, right?
Okay.
So I've seen studies where it's as stringent as 1 in 5 men are having
okay.
sex, and as like liberal as 1 in 3 men are having sex, right?
Okay.
But then with that 1 in 3 stat, it's actually like 1 in 3 men either hasn't had sex in the last year or is a virgin by age 30. Right? Do you see like where this stuff is a little bit? We like to say, yeah, you know, I would go for a guy that was a little bit not as attractive,
Eric,
who just
you can
had
pull
all
up
the
the
great
chart.
stuff. But
Go to the
are we
infographics.
actually doing it? Because at the end of the day, like the men that
Yes.
you're picking,
I can
y'all
speak for
think they're
myself.
cute.
I am. Like, I
Yeah.
100% am.
my boyfriend is 5'7". I've never dated a boy that's over 5'7".
Hold on. Like, I don't
Just
mean height. Like, is his face cute to you?
My current boyfriend, yes. The other ones, I've always dated men who are like boys who are much less attractive to me. And in my personal opinion, and I feel like maybe some of you guys can agree with this, I like dating people that I am more attractive than.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Wait, you like leverage. That's fine. But it's like, hold on. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
You talked
true.
about those guys, right? You said your boyfriend right now. You like his face.
Yes,
you
I love
said
his
the last
face.
guys. You're like, eh. But that's what I'm saying. Like, where
But
are
I
they
loved
now?
them at the time.
Where are they? But
The
but, like,
personality broke the deal. It was not the
Yeah,
face.
it wasn't the looks.
No. Like, I'm saying, like, okay, that might be fair. I'm just saying, I think it's possible that we're choosing men that we find attractive, and we like to say, like, we'll go for like the broke, sweet dude.
And also,
Yeah,
women
but like,
also
but
I
that's
don't want a
because I
broke
wa-
sweet dude. I want a hard-working man. Like,
Yeah.
and
also women overrate themselves in terms of their own physical attractiveness.
that's is that true?
Yeah, like
Probably.
We have
data
girls come on the show that say
statistics,
they're
no,
10s.
But like, talk to most women, because it's like this weird thing happens when you hit a certain age, where women can't psychologically comprehend or process, like, oh, I'm not as beautiful as I used to be, right?
Yeah.
Like, I peaked at 24. I'm completely okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of single older women freaking out on TikTok over that stuff.
Yeah.
So like, in order to cope with that like I aged, maybe I don't have the guy that I want, they'll start to go through these mental gymnastics and be like, no, like I'm a 10 because I like inside, like that makes me 10 outside. No, like beauty is a harsh judge, and some of us just don't have it. So a lot of women are like that. Is there data statistics that show that? I mean, we'd have to ask Rollo Tomasi, so I'll try to find out for you.
I have a question.
What's up?
Have you guys seen, there's this new website and some guy made it, and it's like
the calculator, the delusion
Yeah.
calculator.
Have you guys seen the delusion calculator? So my boyfriend
I don't want to look at it either.
is like, I don't know. I want to say like I can find he's like 11% of the population or something, and I like. I don't know.
it
there's just-
looks
you guys should-
wise. Is that what that means?
So it's a calculator. Do you want to explain
Yeah,
it? I feel like
you
you
can
could
pull it
explain
up.
it
You
better.
wanna do it?
It's
People like when
basically
we do it.
delusion calculator where women
maybe
can put
later.
in their ideal men and see what percent of the world is actually.
Basically,
and they
the-
have one for women too.
It's in the
Yeah.
well, it's within the United States, and the metrics are age, height, income, race. I'm trying to like, is he obese?
Yeah,
is he
things like
married?
that.
Body
Is he
style,
like, how many of us
divorced.
are, like, real talk, like how many of us are trying to pursue obese men, right?
Nobody.
Zero.
Right. Okay, next question. How many of us are trying to pursue overweight men? That might be different.
Not me.
Not you? Okay, 73.6% of the American population is overweight to include obesity. You see what I'm saying? So like, we're like, yeah, well, like, we would forgive his looks. but are we doing it though? And it's okay to have those standards.
But that's different. There's weight and then there's looks, because looks you're born with. Weight, to me personally, throughout my life, I have had some health issues, and at a young age I learned to very seriously value my body and how I treat it. I exercise religiously. I try to eat very well. It's very important to me to treat my body well. This is a vessel that God gave me, and it's important to treat it well. I think that the majority of overweight people do not treat their body well. And if you're not eating, you're not eating well, and you're not exercising, you're probably not respecting your body. That's the deal breaker for me. If you are a big boned person who takes care of yourself and, eats well, works out, then yeah, and you have a great personality, I could see myself being with someone like that. But someone who does not take care of themselves, no.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's where the guys are coming from, because like most dudes would date and also marry too, because it's like they associate marriage with sex. They're like, oh, like if I marry her, she's gonna sleep with me, right? Most of those guys, they would date or marry in general, the male population, they would date or marry an overweight or obese woman, right? Whereas like for us, we're like, no, like that's not gonna fly. So that's a lot of the times what people are talking about. But I mean, eggs are expensive, sperm is cheap. That's a common phrase that's used. I don't know if you guys get that phrase. Do you guys get that phrase? Yeah. I'm like, it'd be like that. All I'm saying is be worth it. Like you can't demand, a high value man and then be a low value woman yourself. That's just not cool. Right. It's not what I would want for my son.
It's never going to happen. You're never going to find a relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
A good one.
So I want to bring it back here to body count really quick, because you mentioned the whole purity thing. You had an issue with it. Rin, did you have any thoughts on that?